But if you're going to listen to the voice of the Spirit, God will not allow a woman to start a church. I know you will not understand it, and you keep arguing, and you say, but what about Joyce Meyer? That's not the will of God. You will hate me all you want. I'm here to speak the truth only. Oh, what if she's gifted? Still can't lead a church. Can they be ministers of the gospel? Yeah. And never as a founder of a church. And I can pass through the scriptures with you and the original rendering with you so that you line up and you realize it. That's why Kenneth Hagin said, I will allow you to be a leader of any church, but according to what God told me, that's Kenneth Hagin, a woman should not start one. Oh, but are you not respecting men more than women? I did not start this issue. God did. In other words, there are problems you will find that I'm not saying all men are good founders of churches. Don't get me wrong. No. They are useless ones. Men. So it's not, you see, it only takes your birth to become a male. But it takes something else to become a man. So I'm not saying your genitals are the prerequisite for your calling. Even mentally disturbed people will give birth. That doesn't mean to say they'll keep charge of the family and take care of the family. But there is something God put in a man that can withstand the pressures that a woman, no matter how brilliant you are, you have problems. Not only that, the general atmosphere of what we find on earth is they might not listen to you. Yeah. That's what the Bible says. I do not allow a woman to usurp authority over a man. But the Bible says to be under instruction and to be in silence. I have to remind you, this is New Testament, not Old Testament. So when I see women saying, I'm the founder of my church, I just go like, wow. Wonderful. But the Bible, are we saying these women are not working for God? No. The Bible says, whether the gospel be preached out of envy, out of jealousy, out of strife, or to further burden me in my bondage, as it were. The gospel is being preached anyhow. Anywhere it's being preached. In other words, some indeed preach the gospel, Philippians 1:15. Some indeed preach the gospel out of envy, and some out of strife, and some also of goodwill. The one who preaches Christ of condition not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bones, but the other of love, knowing that I'm set for the defense of the gospel. What then? What then should we say? Should we say women should not preach? No. In every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ has been preached. Whether a man stands there pretending to be a man of God, if they dispense what is in the Bible, the gospel has been preached. They go to hell. But the message they gave is a seed in someone's heart. Am I against Joyce Meyer? No. I read one of her books, The Battlefield of the Mind. One of the best books written on that subject. Brother Branham did not believe in women preachers. When he stood in a Kathleen Crewman's office, he said, here is an office of a general of God. But you don't believe. There is something he was against, that the Spirit told him, it is not this, it should be that. But God spoke to me to preach and do this and do this. But him telling you to preach doesn't mean to say start a church. Yes. Having a real church? Can women preach? Of course. The Bible says even the stones would rise if men fail to rise. The way I'm thinking, you're better than a rock. The bones of a man of God. They were running, looking for a way to bury someone, and they spied that the band of another army is coming, and they threw that dead corpse on top of the bones of Elijah, and the unction within the bones. You are better than the bones. So I know women are better than bones. So if bones can do this, women can do this. But when it comes to starting a church, a ministry, and you stand in front and command people, Bible says there's a problem. I command women to be under subjection. So what God is saying is not that you shouldn't preach. He's saying you shouldn't lead. You don't need deliverance. You don't need to have a church. Find a man of God that you are under, your man of God, and say, I'm now under your authority. This ministry, I'm a pastor here, but I'm now under your authority. Otherwise you have issues and issues and issues that will break your marriage and go this way and go this way. For the sake of the gospel, it's important that you do it for the sake of God. But God never said what God put together, no man should put asunder. That means even God doesn't want you to divorce.